where does this job rank right now? I'm taking into account that you might be a little bit biased here, but, you've got other jobs that are going to be open like USC. Where does this job rank in terms of the best jobs?
Well, let's take a look at it. What is the lifeblood of any college program? It's recruiting.
Yep.
So any job you name, let's look at the recruiting competitors that you have. USC is open, but you got to recruit against UCLA. You got to recruit against Cal. You got to recruit against other schools in that state. You name a program, look around the state and name the other Power 5 Division I schools in that state. Well, you go to LSU and you look around the state of Louisiana and there's only one. There's only one big boy in the state, and that's LSU. Not only is it only one big boy in the state, you are amongst the most fertile recruiting grounds in the United States of America. So you couple those two things together, then you couple the fact, which I've already stated, the last three coaches have won a national championship there for the reasons I listed before this, then you look at the job and say, what is the downside of the job? What is the downside of being the LSU head coach? You know what it is? It's the expectations. Because the job is that good, the resources are that plentiful. Now, you got to deal with a few politics, but guess what? When you are at a major institution around the country, you're going to deal with political things everywhere you go. But I do think, for the reasons I've listed, you tell me, Chris, since I'm a little biased, since I'm a little homerish based on my purple and gold that's running through my veins, based on what I told you just now, where would you rank the job? I'm not going to rank it. You rank it.
I would rank the job probably third in the country. I think behind Alabama, and I would put it behind Ohio State, just slightly. Just slightly.
Now, is this because of where Alabama is now winning national championships, or is this because you think that sans national title, sans Nick Saban, that the Alabama job was still that type of job even when they were hiring the likes of Mike Dubois and Mike Price and those guys?
No, I mean, let's call it what it is. Between Gene Stallings and Nick Saban, there was a massive hole that got filled back up. I don't think there's any doubt. But if we are going, and you're right, there have been three different coaches who have done it. Stallings did it there. Obviously, Bear Bryant did it there. I think it's just slightly ahead. Now this is not an uninformed opinion, because a couple of years ago I visited both. Was doing some work in college football, and I think we're nitpicking a little bit. We're really just splitting hairs when we talk about jobs at this level. But I look at Ohio State right now and the consistency that they've operated with, and it's right there with those other two programs. And the other thing too is, you're not consistently having to recruit against all of those other SEC schools. You're recruiting for top talent, but you're not necessarily going into the same areas. I think it's a little more open for Ohio State in that regard, especially in the Northeast. But that aside, you can make the argument that LSU and those other schools they're better jobs than some NFL jobs. Would you rather be the head coach at LSU or the head coach of the Detroit Lions? Would you rather be the head coach at LSU or the Raiders head coach right now? Am I wrong about that?
Well, when you throw out the Raiders, based on what we know now over the last couple of weeks.
Well, that aside, but I mean in general.
Here's the thing. You can have longevity, I think, at these colleges, especially if you go in and do it right. You look at Nick Saban, how long he's been in Alabama. Mm-hmm. Look at Les Miles, how long he was at LSU. You look at Lincoln Riley, Bob Stoops, how long that they had separate tenures at Oklahoma. Urban Meyer, now Ryan Day. Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. Like, if you do it right and you ingratiate yourself with your administration and you recruit the right way and you handle your business on the field and you're a consistent winner, I think most fan bases realize that you're not going to win a national championship every year unless you're Alabama. Or the expectation is not there to win it every year unless you're Alabama. You can't go out and, you get me 9, 10 wins and then the occasional – we get the right mixture of guys and we're in the college football playoff, most fan bases will be happy. So, yes, LSU is a job that has a ton of expectations. It is a job that 8-9 wins is not good enough consistently. You need to be winning 10, 11 ball games, playing on the precipice of the SEC title game, the college football playoff. That's what the fan base expects. Now, guess what? We'll pay you $9 million a year to do it, okay? We'll make you one of the highest paid coaches in America to do it. You're going to get all the benefits that come with the state of Louisiana, the great food, the great Southern hospitality, and the most plentiful recruiting bed outside of California and Florida, maybe Georgia, but they're all right there together. But with that comes the expectations, and I think that's where Coach O fell short. And I find it interesting, and you tell me this, Chris, if you looked at it the same way. They asked Coach O in the middle of October, is he coaching next year? And he immediately said no. I deciphered that as saying, here's a guy who is satisfied. And when you become satisfied, you become mediocre. I don't care who you are. And I think that ultimately defines where we are, because he's satisfied with the national championship. He's satisfied with what he's done at LSU. And guess what? That's okay. He is at a point in his life right now where he's made more money than he probably ever dreamed of. He'll be able to buy all the hamburgers he can get. But he's ready to, at least for next year, not coach.
All right, but is he
satisfied.
satisfied or resigned to his situation and just wants to take a step back from it for a little bit? Because that's kind of more the way that it sounded to me.
Okay. I didn't hear it that way. I heard the immediate response to me was, I'm satisfied. I'm going to get my $17 million, and I'm not coaching next year. That's what I heard. Now, if I'm wrong, you know what? I'll be a big boy and accept that.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.